Yeah, yeah, yeah. Yeah, so we're going to start this celebration with the Odu from Otura Meiji or Ejila Meiji, where Shango was doing things were very rough with him, and there were a lot of illnesses in where he was living in Oyo, and so he traveled out seeking a way of curing his people, and he went to the Hausa people, he went to the Muslim people, and he saw them saluting the sun, and they were doing this prayer in salutation of the sun, and in doing so, he was able to learn the secret, and he brought it back to his people, to Oyo, and got the people well. And so from that day forward, that was included into what's the prayer, the worship, and the honoring of the sun. So today, for my Earth Day celebration, just like when you are a baby, the third day after you're born, you get a divination, you get a reading, and then you're brought out into the community either 7 or 9 days, depending on the sex of the child. And then you come and salute the sun, welcoming the child to the new expression of the divine of Olorun. So, also, as in our tradition, in the Lukumi tradition, what we do is when the Yawo comes out to get the day of his Ita, or to know what is the reason that he was born. Because there are two most important times of our life, is when we are born and why we were born. And so on that day in the Ita, that's when you find out when you were born. And so, I mean, why you were born. And so we have this particular practice at that. So birthdays, celebrations, anything that is giving birth. So I feel renewed after 50 years of celebrations on this rotation of the earth. I am now as a priestess, rotation as a priestess, but it's my 74th birthday, and 74th rotation of the sun. Isn't that something? Well, 75, because I was rotating in my mother's womb as well. And so the celebration today will start with the Nangare. Then I will go into the celebration. So thank you very much. So we're going to start now with this Nangare to salute the sun. And we are inviting you to be a part of that. Okay. We're gonna, so just stay with us. I hope y'all can hear me. We don't have a mic. Let me see if that's working. Put this over here. Ashe Adupwe Yalosha Efulayo and Yalosha Olubushola for joining me on this auspicious occasion of the Nangare Adupwe. Oh, it's my birthday. It's my Earth Day celebration around the sun. 74 years. Really? That's a long time. And so I just wanted to share this occasion with you, the world, because I felt in my heart and knowing Obatala that he has taught me over the years to take all minuses and make plus. And so the other day we had the live stream and somehow we had a little hurdle in it that we didn't know we had to invite people. That was not the way I knew it was set up. So this being done, Obatala said, let everyone know exactly more about this culture. And it's an opportunity to teach. So taking the minuses on the plus of having the hiccups of so many people have been tested, sending me emails and say, I'm sorry, we tried to get in. We tried to get in. And I told them the person that was supposed to, that set up the Zoom didn't show up. So COVID is doing its thing. So it's okay. So today we want to just talk about, as I said, the Nangare is a very powerful ceremony for me. It's to bless my head with the sun and giving thanks to Olodumare, giving thanks to Orun, giving thanks to Obatala for having me being born. And so I wanted to just share with you my journey in a way that shows through to who I am, which I love an opportunity for us to grow and to have more connection to spirit, more connection. And so one of the reasons, because someone asked me this, and this was a good jump off point. Someone asked me, how come your birthday and your Orisa birthday are just a few days apart? And I never thought about that because I just assumed it was just another date. But it gave me the opportunity to share with you. When I was about 19 years old, I got my first reading. And I was told that I would be a queen and I would do all of these marvelous things around the world. I didn't see it at that point as a college student, just trying to make sure that I had enough oodles and noodles to eat and peanut butter and crackers. And so I didn't see that. And so as time passed on, challenges of life, challenges of age, and not knowing where I was going, I went for another reading. And on this reading, I was told that if I did not become a priest at the age of 24, if I didn't get myself into the room in initiation by the age of 24, that I would die. Now, my life, the way I was going, was a confused young woman with all types of challenges, and not having a community to support me in understanding this faith, just being exposed to a reading and a small community in Harlem. I then saw the sense that it made to do initiation because I had been through massive sadness, depression. I even tried to commit suicide, all of those things because I was so confused and not knowing who I was and what I was. And so I went for the reading. And when Mama KK, who gave me the reading in Harlem, told me that by 24, I had to get initiated, I was like, whoa, maybe this is what I need. This is a step that I could take to know that maybe there's something other than what I'm going through that would make any sense. So that's how I felt the connection to doing something differently. So that's another minus making it a plus. Having someone to come in and says, look, young lady, the way your life is going, African spirituality is a way for you to feel better. At that point, I was willing to do anything. So I set my course in doing rituals and getting more involved in the culture and that. And trust me, on the 26th of August, I was in the initiation room. And my birthday was the 31st. I was in the room of initiation, Igbodu, for initiation to Obatala. So by my obedience, but feeling the connection to what was said, that there's another way to live my life other than the drama that I was going through and trying to find myself and finding a place in the world that made sense to this Latina living in the South and a college campus in the midst of the revolution of Pan-Africanism. That was a lot. So when I got that message that there's another way, there's another choice for you to make, and I made the choice, that was the connection I felt. It was amazing to me in terms of why I chose to be obedient is because I had no choice. So when she spoke that, it resonated with me. And I set myself on the course of being a priestess and doing the thing. I want to thank my teachers, Mama KK, the late Mama KK, who was one of the leaders in the community in Harlem at the time. My Babalosha, late Babalosha Orishamola Awolowo, the late Oba Efuntola Adefumi the First, my godfather in Palo, my Babalawo, Juan Candela, my godmother in Oshun, Nelida Silveira, and my godfather in Cuba, Pedro Loinas. And to all of the other teachers, to Mama Omiyeye, who bathed me in the room, the priestess of Yemanja Ibai Toru. My teachers are all on the ancestral level. And they are the ones that come to me when I do divination and I call them. They come and tell me some of the mysteries that they knew, some of the things that they had, some of the things that they had done. And so that's why when I read and some of the things I don't even remember when you say, you told me so and so. These are the spirits that come and infuse and help me to be and do what it is I have and the passion that I have. And so in moving through and giving thanks to my ancestors, I want to just give thanks for the day that I was born, that this sun is shining in my face. To my mother, Ruby Mercedes Ruddock Aiken, and my father, Clyde Brown Roach, who my father is sit on this side and my other ancestor on this side. And so my father, I thank you also in the spirit world that comes and helps me. And my mother, who's still in the living, she prayed for me yesterday. And she said, can I pray for you? And I said, yes, ma'am. She did this powerful prayer for me and just bringing down all of her systems and beliefs just to bless me as I was her last baby. So I have to thank my parents for giving me this life. I have to thank my Odu. And that's why for me, celebrations are very important for everyone. And I know we do Christmas, holidays, Mother's Day. For me, the holiday that gives me the most satisfaction is my birthday. So anybody that knows you, you know my birthday is like, if you call me, I will say, please call me tomorrow. Tomorrow's the birthday, not today. And I don't have any shame. It's very important because my Odu is Ofung. And Ofung says that when the child comes and it has Ofung in it, it says that one of the parents or circumstances, the child was not supposed to be born. And so the fact that I made it on this planet, I always celebrate my birthday. I always celebrate my birthday by just making sure that I feel grounded and that I'm supported with love and I buy stuff for myself, all of that, just to celebrate myself. Talking to my egg bag before I even knew what egg bag was. I was talking to all the people and the things that have always told me and what to do to have such a happy life, even in the turmoil and the chaos that we go through in just the evolution as people. And so the Orisha, and what I wanted to speak on today is how I felt when I met the different Orishas. Because many of us come into this faith through different reasons, motivations. Some come in because their children are ill. Some come in because they Googled it. Some people come into it because they saw a movie or they saw something and it resonated with them, and they just followed that thread. In my book, I said, keep walking until you walk right into it. And so I wanted to share with you how I felt when I met each of the Orishas, some of the Orishas that have a very strong impact in my life, so that you know that 50 years down the road means that I just want you to know that it is a walk in faith every day of obedience, of, of confidence, of trusting that feeling inside of you without you having to get a reading. You just know inside of you that this feels like home. My ancestors, I want to share with you, that's the first energy that I felt, spirit. Was as a little girl, my mother had left, and some of y'all already know the story, left Panama and came to America and left us. And when we went to live in this community, there was a Bejanite temple, which is an African descended spiritual practice. At night, when I would hear the drums and I smelled the Florida water and Kananga water and saw the flowers and ate the food, it just felt like home to me. It felt so good. It felt like everything that I was going through, my mother not being there to tuck me in at night, to hug me at night, it made me feel safe. It made me feel that this is okay. And that's when I started talking to spirit. I didn't know it was spirits. I always had these things that I felt. I didn't see them, but I felt things around me. Like I would be like, okay, so we're gonna go and get this, and we're gonna get this, and I'm gonna have a little party for my friends, and we're gonna do this, and we are And so I started talking and communing with spirits. I didn't know that's what it was, but just being there, the ancestors put me at the divine time and the divine place for me to be able to feel them, to feel them. And the next time that I felt that same spirit was at the World's Fair in New York. I was in junior high school, and we went on a field trip. And I felt the ancestors. I felt something. I later found out that something was Shango, because we were listening to Olatunji, and he was drumming and playing Shango. And I was like, whoa, I was just shaking. I felt this presence of something. I have been studying and reading books on Africa and that kind of thing. But when I felt that, that was the thing that connected me. And for many years, maybe 3 years while I was studying before I got initiated from 19 on, Maorisha was Shango. So I felt Shango. And Olatunji said to me, I didn't know what was going on. He says, you're feeling the spirit of your ancestors, and I was like, that was so powerful for me. And so that's the way I got introduced to the power of ancestry, is just to feel them coming through you and manifesting themselves and allowing me to shake uncontrollably. And I didn't know what was going on, and I knew I wasn't crazy. And so that's the way I met the ancestors. How I met Eshu or Elegba was when I was in college and in searching for how I was going to get this initiation and all of this stuff, that I'm like, I don't know what this is about. I met someone and he gave me the number to the Oba, who was then living in Eden, North Carolina, before the village ever was manifested. And so he gave me the number, and I started writing to the Oba and telling him my frustration with in college, and I was frustrated and I wanted to quit and I wanted to leave because I felt that we had to fight for our for our civil rights in a black university, because we didn't have black studies program then. And so I felt so frustrated and confused. And he says, you need to just come south. We're going to build a village in South Carolina very soon. So you need to come, just leave school and come and joy. Well, when I went back to tell Mama KK on another one of my readings that I was going to quit scholar, she went off. And when I said went off, in a loving and passionate way, that's how I met Oshun. I met Oshun through Mama KK because during that time, me wanting to stop getting her counsel as to staying in school and be a good girl and graduate and get your degree and be all of this for, for your education, I went and got a reading from someone else. You know how you do, you're tired of the truth and you go someplace else. And I went for a reading to a priest, a male priest in New York. And the things that he told me, he actually tried to seduce me in the reading. And the next time that I went to do the ritual, I saw something that I knew that he was working me. I called Mama KK. And those are the days you didn't have no cell phone. I went to the public phone and it was in Harlem. This whole thing happened right in Harlem. He lived on one side, she lived on the other side. She went off on him so bad. I felt so good that someone was coming to my defense. Someone was looking out for me, that I didn't have to go and do the things that he was talking about, that the old dude said I should marry him and all of this. And I'm like, ew, you're an old man. I'm like 20 years old. And that feeling, and she said, young lady, you need to get your elekes. And she took her Obatala eleke. She had some elekes on the wall, and that was the only one she had. She said, I have an Obatala eleke. She took that eleke and she crossed it and she put it on my head. That was the way I met Oshun, because Mama Cake and I made such a beautiful relationship that the next summer I worked in her store. I think it was the Egbe Moremi's market. And I worked selling her wares and stuff there. And our relationship grew from that. And so the next time I went back to school, I did not come back to Mama Keke because I decided I'm done with school. And I started working, and the rest is history. And then I ended up coming to South Carolina with my godfather and 5 other people, because Babalosha Owolowo at the time, he was running the temple after the Abba had left. He was running the temple in New York. And I used to go to Bembe's and services that he had. So when he said, we're moving south, I packed up. By then, I had my one wish that I wanted to have a baby and move to Africa and raise my baby in Africa. Some of you know that baby is Shongo Banike. I was intentional about getting this baby. I got my baby. And 6 weeks after my son was born, I moved south. And that's how we started Oyotunji with the 5 people, because when we settled Oyotunji, when we moved to Oyotunji, Bawalosha, myself, Oshunkunle, Chalako, and 2 other people, when we came, that was the beginning of it being actually a physical village. The Abba was there with his wife and Mama Cake and one other priest and 3 of his children. And so when we came, that was the beginning of what was called a village. It was first a family. The village concept was already there. So when we moved there, that settled the village. I felt so good. That morning we woke up and I saw the mist, just the fog of South Carolina coming off of the swamps. I felt so good. I felt like home. I said, this is it. My baby was 6 weeks old. I was that committed to spirit and knowing. And this was in April, May, June, July. That was in July because my son was 6 weeks. Yes. And so that was in July. By August 26th, bing, 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 bing. Who was in the room getting initiated? Mwah. Obedience got me there. Touching and feeling that spirit that says, anything else that I've been through, this looks different. And when I felt those different areas of spirit, I was like, oh, this is it. We felt so good that morning, and Majile fixed, trying to remember, Oshumbumi cooked fried cornbread for us and gave us tea, and it was just awesome. The Oba knew we were coming, and he made the Iledi, this large house. And that's where we spent the night on the floor. Then the next day, the men started getting wood and things to make their thing. All I felt was like, I'm home. This is home. This is home. If I make it to Africa, it's good, but this is home for now. This is home. So that's how I met Elegba, and that's how I met Oshun. So when you are feeling connection to spirit, that's Orisha. You don't have to Google it and see what the color is. You don't have to Google it or ask somebody, do they know Oshun? Oshun is in here. When you feel that woman that put her eleke on you and tell you you are safe and you are good, that's what I know Oshun as. The goddess that loves me, that my name is Oshun Ohun. Oshun gives me everything. That was such a loving act to do to a frustrated, confused young woman. Not a penny was charged, just giving me the love and compassion of Oshun. That's how I met Oshun. And to this day, mo fere fun Oshun, yeah, me. And how I met Yemonja is after we got to the village and we started establishing the different aspects of it, and we established the women's society. The queens got together and made the Egbe Moremi, the women dedicated to Moremi, the warrior woman who sacrificed her own child to make this land in Yeyefini. And so the Egbe Moremi, the women's society was started. And when I worked with women and we organized festivals and we wrote the programs for the rites of passage for the women, we had the women dancing. We saw the beauty in polygamy. We invite women into our households, into our to share with our husbands. And that's how I've met Yemanja. Yemanja for me is what gives me the love of working with women and working with community. That's how I met Yemanja. My mother. My mother, who just, that's all she wants is for women to come together, build the nation, raise the children in a way that we know that the strength that we have is the strength of each other. So that's how I met Yemonja. And so for you, follow that. Find women who are going to support you, that you can collaborate with, that you could do shows, programs, anything that you're working together. How I met Shango, I didn't know it was Shango at the time, was of course at the World's Fair, in just having that feeling and the drums. And so for me, anytime I awaken that passion to do what needs to be done for our culture, is always through music, through art, to having the fire, the balls, the gumption to do what you know that you can find the spirit of the ancestors through and coming through. And now how I felt when I met Aganju. That Orisa is the lick. That Orisa saved me. Because in my story from birth to about 35, I had been feeling some things in my heart, that something was missing in my soul. Even when I felt spirit, there was always like I was had to go here, go here, go there, go there. And my Ita said that I would be alone in life. I would be lonely in life, but grand. So I always felt alone inside. Even in a bunch of people, there was always like something moving, missing inside. One day I'm at a shrine of a friend of mine, and I looked, the ebo that I got for the reading was to do something to Aganju. I am in front of Aganju doing prayers, offering these plantains, and all of a sudden I stop bawling. I see the complete act of the violation and the molestation that happened to me, that always made me feel empty inside. Look how spirit knew this little girl back then. I was 6 years old when I was molested. That Aganju, that Orisha that knows that he saved Oshun by just helping her across the river. Aganju is an Orisha that if you are in pain or any kind of grief, that is the Orisha to her. He will whip it out. I've had students that I've helped through Aganju to make the impossible possible. That's how I met Aganju. I love that Orisha. He opened up my soul, and from that day I started healing, and I started forgiving my father for not being present in my life and letting me be hurt by someone and not to protect me. And I was able to do things with my ancestors' shrine and just forgive, and the emptiness started being filled, just started being filled, and I started feeling good about myself. That's how I first met Aganju. So you don't have to Google who's Aganju and get a statue in your house. Pray. The universe knows what it is and brings it to you, because I had been praying for this emptiness to move and I didn't know what it was. And Aganju came and just relieved that. That is a powerful Orisha. I know it says the Orisha of the volcanoes, and we don't have any volcanoes here, whatever. Aganju is the Orisha that helps you when you are in desperate need. You're trying to go across the river with one oar. He is the one that brings the other one and helps you across. Now, how I met Obatala. Obatasi, Obatayano, Biminikio, Domare, my father, my sister, my mother, Obatala in all of her forms and his forms. That's the Orisha that sits on my head. As I said, my Orisha was Shango, then for a while it was Oshun, and then the week before initiation, they said, no, she got to make Obatala. She got to make Obatala. Y'all know the story that I didn't like my name, Yeyefini, mother of purity. I'm like, Mama, I'm 23 years old. What's up with this? Mama? Mama for me, some big old fat lady, just come here, baby. And so, I was like, no, because I was all spicy and all of this. And I grew into the name and I love it. Mother of purity, mother of doing what is needed, mother of the truth. And that's what holds me in check when I feel like, I don't want to be pure and pure. Comes right back. And all of this is in my book. And it's upcoming. I know y'all have been promising, but Obatala has been playing chess. You know, you think that you're doing this and he does something else and he puts the perfect people in your life that's aligned. And so the book is personally coming together with the things that needs to be done. And so with Obatala, doing my process as a Iyawo, I'm going back to go forward. I felt so alone. I have no family to connect to because some of you, when you choose this path, you disconnect from your family or your family disconnect from you. And that's why one of the shows that I watch that I love is called The Pose. I love that because it shows you the power of you creating your own family. When your family and you have gotten to the point where you part ways, be it that it's your destiny, be it that it's time for you yourself, be it that you don't feel safe, you don't feel honored, you don't feel seen, you don't seem heard. And when you come home and say, I want to be African and I want to change my hair and all of that, and you and your family separate, and then you find out that you're the one that the ancestors chose, so you had to separate to make and then bring everyone back together. So many of us go through this path. And in going through this, as a Yawo, I felt so alone. I could not go back to New York and tell my mom, okay, it didn't work. I went down south, I cut my face up, and I need to come back because I don't have it. I was so alone. I was not making any money. I was hungry. We were waiting on just living from the Orisha, from literally hand to mouth. Obatala said, get busy and create. And I started taking the skill that I had as an artist and started painting on rocks, on stones. I started painting. That's how I met Obatala. When I had nobody to send me any money, and I had to just work for me and my child, I started painting rocks, stones of pictures of the village, and telling people, you know, and when people came for tours, because we had a thing that newspaper article came through there, and they wanted to do tours on these Africans from up north, and I would have you visited the village of Oyatunji, and I was like, and I would sell it, and that's how I started making money. And the first set of good money I had, I went to Rose's store, was a department store, and I got some plates, some breakfast plates, and I started painting on plates and selling those in the market. We created a market. When you know Orisha and you sit on the mountaintop and just being chill, Orisha will speak to you. Obatala say, you got the skill of painting, you know how to do it, use it. Rocks are free. And then you know rocks are the Orisha. They are the memory of God that just washed from different places into the river, and we go and get them and make Orisha. And so in doing these plates, I connected with Obatala can take care of me. I always said Obatala, and I was going through such loneliness and desperation and going through having a baby and the first stages of polygamy, and it was rough. It was rough. But I always said Obatala is not sleep, and one day I know things are going to change. And that was my mantra every day. And I went through my Yawo year, and I found that in Obatala giving me that knowledge that I was able to do. Knowing deep inside, I just had a sense of knowing that this is it and I should pull this through with me and my baby. Obatala will always inspire you to take your minuses and make pluses of them. No matter what, sadness, depression, molestation, hurt, abuse, neglect, betrayal, people turning on you. That's why myself, when they turn on me, when they turn on you, that's about the last people. Because you come up wanting to look what they did to Jesus. He sat on the table with his enemies and they gave him in for money. So if you're witnessing that, don't worry. Obatala will get you through this. Obatala will get you through this. So always take your minuses and make them your plus. Things looking bad, get another thing, put it on there and move forward. And so for many of you, as you walk away and you walk away from your family, or you find that you're out here alone, trust your spirit. Trust your spirit. Trust your spirit to guide you, and you pray to the universe. Whatever name you know that comes to your spirit. Olokun. And so I don't want to delay and keep you here. I just wanted you to have this teaching Tuesday, Ask Yeyefini, celebration of my 74th year as a priestess of Obatala for 50 years, and in this faith for 54 years. Yeah. I just want you to know, don't give up. Do not give up. Connect to your shrine. If you're living in someone's house and you can't set up an altar, go to a tree. If you don't know your ancestor's name, pour some water and says, the blood that is in me, I call on you who made me. Pour that and call them and ask them and leave them some food that they can be recycled in the universe. And the essence of it can go into the earth and feed Mother Earth and bring something new for you. When you stand at a crossroad, call Eshu. I didn't know how I was going to be able to find this. And I got one address to write a letter, and I ended up. And years later, many, many years later, I had been married to the king and all of that. And he had a piece of paper, and he said, look, Yeyefini, I want you to see this. And I looked at it, and I said, this is my handwriting. And I saw it. It was a letter I had written to him in years, this confused girl that he said, come to the village. My children were teenagers. That's how long he had kept this letter. Not that it was special to him in any kind of way. It was in a stack of papers, and he was just going through his things. That was verification there. That was a legba telling me, you followed me in here. Look at me. Look at me coming through for you. Stand at the road. Stop at the crossroad and say, legba, whoever you are, wherever you are, I drop you this coin, this candy, this whatever, just a prayer, just a water, just a soda. When you meet other women, connect to them, not as a threat to you. Connect to them, welcome and coexist, collaborate. This culture is expansive. There's no lack. You can create some new platform, some way of doing this same thing in a different way. That's Yemonja. Oshun, find in your heart that in the spite of everything, you're going to have to find joy and self-esteem. Know that you have to love yourself first before you can love anybody else. And when you find the magic of that love, everything will flow to you. Everything will flow to you. And on those moments when you're human and you're feeling negative and angry, that's Obatala. Sit with Obatala. Call on Obatala and say, Baba, please, I need some clarity. During this whole month of August, I've been saying, take baths with Obatala, go on my YouTube and get the bath. They work. Everything that I put, that I've been doing YouTubes and blog talk shows since 2011. No, before, 2011, I think was the first one that I did in blog talk. But I've been doing things for me. It's always about empowering the people to empower themselves and use this empowerment to change the world. That's my life, because I was empowered through everything that I've been through, plus and minuses. And this is not here to say any of that this is just a sugar coated. My life was hard, but it was very, 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 very powerful in that it endeared me. It gave me the strength, the stamina, the chutzpah, the gall to look Western culture in the face and says, yes, I will cut my face to let you know that I believe in being African all the way. I will give my children African names. So I want y'all to remember that you're not alone. The Orisha is there, but find your family, find your folk. If your own children do not embrace what it is that you're doing, just give thanks. And that was one of the things that I saw on that series pose that gave me so much resilience. One of them, and I'm paraphrasing here, she was saying she's a mother, and what they do is that these children who were put out of their family because they were trans, they were gay, their families did not want them, and they had a mother, one woman, that would take them all in and call her children and build them up and give them integrity. And I just love that show. Love it, because the mother, she had these children and she had a horrible life. Her mother threw her stuff out in the street in the snow, and she got enough courage to say, I don't want anybody else that's trans or gay go through this. And she created a home for them. And from that, her children then became mothers. And she stated, I'm paraphrasing here, she says, when you have loved your children and endeared them and given them enough strength and courage and direction for them to leave you, you gave them enough stamina for them to stand on their own feet and move into the world that you want to. And you miss them and you want that, and they no longer want it from you, find some other children to mother. So when your own children don't come to any of your things, don't do the things that you would expect them to do because you told them, be who you know yourself to be. And if this doesn't work for you, stand in your truth and says, this is not what I want. Don't just show up because I got to do it because it looks good. No, I raised my children to be who they are and whose they are. And so if you feel that in your life, there's situations where you find that you have been such a powerful mother in giving the world your offsprings, be grateful and know that you have done well. Find some other people to mother, if that it is. And she said in there, and if even in mothering these, if you feel lonely and you want to cry, she said, get a dog. Get yourself a puppy. So there's always room for you to have something to care for, to love, and to make waves in the world, to make this place the haven of Oshun. Oshun just gives us all of this vegetation, all of this lusciousness, that they are flowers. Osayin give us the herbs to eat. Babaluaye helps us to know what herbs to take to cleanse us. Erinle says, come to me and I will remove cancer. Odudua will help you if you have memory problems, Alzheimer's. Come to me. Doable. Oh yeah. Her cycle is coming up. September, I got a whole story about Oya and how she came into my life. Oh yeah, the goddess that says, I will take care of those who don't have mothers and fathers. Oya takes care of all of the orphans. She takes care of all of the little children, the little babies. I don't know my daddy. I don't know my... Oya is your mama. Honor her. Outside of a graveyard, at the river, in the marketplace. Oya. Olokun. The Orisha that gives you all of the power, all of the energy, all of the richness. Go inside of your soul and find that thing inside of you that make you feel like you are poor. And say, Olokun, I am rich. And boom, it's going to come forward. So I just wanted to share some of the power and the Orishas that I felt inside of me. We didn't have Google. You don't need to Google. You can find someone, find your community. Make your community. Get 2 people, 2 women, help some children, help each other, help some women. That's how we created the community of sisterhood. And so I just want y'all to know that anywhere that you put your heart, that it comes from a place of love. At the end of the day, the truth always stands as truth. And if you give and expecting people to give back to you because you give them, you're not going to get anything. So on this day of my celebration of Mount Orisha, I give thanks for the challenges of my birth. I give thanks for meeting people who abused me. I give thanks for people who betrayed me. I give thanks for people who hurt me, because of that, there's an Odu John Lebada, I think it is, that says Orumila was sitting amongst betrayers. And Elegba said, well, why are you sitting around the devil? You eating with the devil. People come into your house and eat and stab you in the back. Why are you eating with the devil? And Orumila said, because when we have the devil, then we know why we have to be good. That's why there's goodness in the world, because they're going to have that. So don't feel that nothing or no one has more power over you. No one. Sometimes we're at a space that we're not embracing who we are, and we put ourselves in a place of believing that there's something bigger than us. The same day that God made one, made the other in the same way. The day we knelt down, we're all given the basket with our destiny. Find your destiny. Find your support. Find your people, and honor the God inside of you by just connecting and feeling the love of God. Adupwe, adupwe, adupwe. I want to make some announcements here because Yeyefini.com is moving up, coming out again. So announcements, join me, of course, on the global platform of Ancestral Voices. Ancestral Voices is this group out of England that do some fantastic videos on preserving the culture that I will be on next Saturday, September the 4th at 5 o'clock. And it's on Facebook. Just go to Ancestral Voices, and I'm going to send out the link. Also, please join us on the IIASK platform to become a friend of the Institute. This month, September, starting tomorrow, is Oya's celebration. And we're going to be doing Oya's Bembe worship services for those who are members on the second Sunday. We're going to have the Bembe and the to Oya. And at the show for Oya on the 5th, on the 4th, in the 5th, we're going to have priestesses of Oya talking about how they met Oya in the spirit. It's going to be awesome. Some awesome priestesses of Oya that I know. And so join the Ore IIASK on my platform, where you become friend of the family. You can learn why you're on this path, the history of this faith, how to set up what a relationship with godparents, how to be, how to do, how to throw iki, how to throw ifa, kola, how to throw kola nuts, how to set up your ancestors, how to choose a name. All of that is on there. And once you join, you can go back and take all of the classes. And then you have an opportunity any Sunday to speak to me free for 15 minutes. And so that's one of the benefits of it. And then the benefit is that you do come to our worship service, which is not open to everyone. Go online, subscribe to my website, Yeyefini.com, become a member, and get my newsletter every month that I have specials going on. Right now, we have a special because I'm closing down of all of my products because I found a distributor. And in December, when I come out, talk about rocking and rolling my Oshun scrub, my Oshun lotion, Obatalaso. I have a new soap coming out with CBD for Babaluaye for arthritis. Watch me, y'all. Watch me. 50 is just the new 23. And so, good on the platform. We still have some Obatala soaps and a few scrubs. Get that, because after the 15th of September, the shop is shut down until December when I come back. Also, announcement. Okay, yes, the Yeyefini, I did that. Oh, ding, 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 ding. There's a bell going on. Let's ring it. My in-person classes and readings are starting in December. I'm going to be doing readings and workshops in December in North Carolina. I got my office, and so I am opening in December, and in February we'll be doing classes. We have a series of workshops, and all of that will be going on. So keep following me, keep following me, keep following me. And some of my friends are going to be joining me in some of the activities. And my Teaching Tuesdays are now going to be dedicated to Yemonja. Yemonja, I did the consultation, she said dedicated to women, the different aspects of women as mothers, as wives, as healers, as givers, of scientists, the matrons. And so we'll be learning all things. My Teaching Tuesdays will be dedicated, the workshops on Tuesdays once a month will be dedicated to women, to just the power that exists in women, and knowing it, and giving this culture, knowing why we come to shrines and we kneel. Why do we come and and cover ourselves or not cover ourselves. All of the things that women do to know the magic that we have, so that we can reconnect to the tradition and know why we love ourselves and why our great mothers, why the Yamis, why they are who they are. They are us. We are their flesh, and we represent that. So it's going to be all about women and mothers. So I'm coming back in person to do readings in my office. And of course, the Ibu Aye, ding, 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 is going to have her romantic partnering retreat this year, 2022. Those of you who are Ibu Aye, we have that 5 days, five Saturdays, 5 weeks, 5 months, sorry, 5 months, and then we come together at a retreat. So we'll be having our retreat. Upcoming mediumship training. Many of you have been asking me, when is it coming? It's coming in October. So give me September to recalibrate. October, all of the classes starting. Do not forget the children's rites of passage. This year, hopefully 2022, this June, we're going to have the children finally, because COVID kind of locked it down. We're going to have the children coming together and do their rites of passage physically. The girls and the boys, and they're not done together, separately. How to be women, how to call on spirit. One of my graduates, who is in graduates of this program of rites of passage, is in Spain right now, expanding his career as a professional in sports, and it goes with a lot of shifting and pushing. And he says to his mom, I have to remember the Odu that says, Orumila was going on a trip, and his friend said, come on and go with me. I'm riding on a horse. You're walking. You'll never get there. You'll be late. Your clothes will be dirty. He said, that's okay. Because he had gotten a reading, and the reading told him, you walk and take your time. He was obedient. And he wanted to go on a horse because that was his friend. He was like, come on, homie, get on the bus. He decided, and his friend like, you're crazy. You out to lunch, as we used to say back in the day. You're crazy. I'm riding. Get on the horse with me. And he said, no, that's okay. I'll go the short way. And in going the short way, he ended up at the party because the one that was his friend fell off the horse and broke both his legs. And so he had to quote that no matter what, this is a young man that went through our rites of passage program, told him, no matter what you're going through, take the slow position. You'll get there eventually. And be obedient to your reading. I was like, what? This is one of our children from the Children Rites of Passage. Another quote, he says, don't let your ego spoil your sit with Obatala. I was like, what? So the kind of things that our children learn is to prepare them so that when they're in conflict, they don't go and smoke a joint, drink some liquor, and beat up somebody and try to get jiggy at a club because they're depressed. They go within, because we teach them the same skills that we give in the SCI program, which will start again in October, our self-empowerment intensive for adults. The children learn the same thing. The children learn the same thing. The younger group from 10, from 11, and then the older group from the teenagers, and then the elders. Can you imagine a family whose children have been through that? We have that in the Institute. So invest in your children. Come to the program. It works. The children are safe. Go to Yeyefini.com. I just want to thank each and every one of you that y'all have been sending me gifts and texts and cash apps and PayPal and letters and checks. Cards have been coming. I just thank each and every one of you. And right now, I just pray and I send you blessings from Obatala, from Olorum, from the crown of my head, from the sole of my feet. I just give you blessings upon blessings that may everything that you encounter in your life, you know that you are not alone. You know that Spirit is watching and ready and available to you to just ask in a humble way, please help me, and watch for the signs, be it the number, be it the color, be it just a feeling. Thank you. Thank you. Happy birthday to me and happy birthday to you. Have a blessed and wonderful day. And I am going to enjoy myself today. by just chilling with some of my friends and having a good day. God bless you. Mofere fun Orisha. Mofere fun Obataba. Epa Orisha. Orisha Epa. Thank you. Odavo. Odavo. Now, where do I go here? Yay, yay, yay. Y'all know that this little thing here for me to close. Leave studio or end. Come here. Y'all know I need the help. That says leave the studio. I didn't speak anybody in the chat. Let me talk to some people in the chat first. Oh yeah, there's an Ed broadcast. You think, duh. Let me go in here and talk to some people. Somebody who go ER. We see you, ER. Congratulations. Much love. Carlette. Thank y'all so much for just being with me and me trying to be young with this stuff. Diane Smith, Carlette, Natasha Sanders, Sophia, Natasha. Natasha was just blowing it up. Kianga Janake, she's going to be on one of my things. Satet, I didn't open my gift yet. I'm going to open it today. Ayana, Grady, Ashe, Alafia, Carlette, Ayodele. She helped me so much at the party. She was just to run and get everything for me. Oh, Allison, Patrick, you have been just a supporter. Oh my gosh, thank you so much. Thank you, everyone. Janice Fearsome, my crown was made by her. Oh my gosh, y'all need to check her out. Natasha Saunders, thank you, everybody. Aize, my little Oshun, Nandi. Oh, thank you, everyone. Lotus Jones, thank you, everyone. Yanifa Fashi, thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. Modupwe, 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 Modupwe. Oshun Rire, Oshun's blessing, quiet power, strength lady. Just thank you so much, everyone, for being with me today. Ashe, Ashe, Ashe. Odabo. Okay, and it says end broadcast. End broadcast.